is it a fair criticism that Carney made? I mean, he's basically critiquing that remit that they were given back in, what, 96, 97?
Yes, essentially he's saying that the 97 remit, which only allowed the MPC to focus on inflation and which made no reference to certainly money supply or credit growth, was too narrow. And in a world of the great moderation in which the UK had a positive terms of trade shock, inflation was low, credit was growing at 20%, money supply was growing at 20%, yet the MPC's remit wouldn't allow them to look at that. So it's certainly a criticism of the government. His point about financial stability, well, we knew that from Japan, so we did know that in 1997. Japan showed you what happens when you have a bank lending bubble, and so it was common knowledge at the time. So I think it's certainly a direct criticism of the previous Labour government.
So how's this going to change things for the market?
I think what's interesting with the organisational changes that the bank has made is, of course, the fact that we're seeing a slight rejig of the MPC lineup. I think it's certainly fair to say that the switchover between the FPC Executive Director Haldane and Spencer Dell as Chief Economist suggests that perhaps suggests that maybe Carney wants Haldane to look at how they can use these macro-prudential tools in terms of looking at governing inflation, using those rather than the interest rate policy, since we had a reaffirmment yesterday from Carney that interest rates will stay low for a very long period of time.
And of course today we've got the unemployment rate, the ILO unemployment rate, 9:30 London time. We've got the budget today as well. I guess some tax relief, but he's going to stick to his guns, the Chancellor.
Yes, I mean, there's very little money. I think we'll see an upgrade in growth, but it's unclear to me that the OBR will have much room to improve the borrowing figure, since there's so much uncertainty, not only over Osborne's own spending plans, but how the government collects revenue when about 300,000 individuals, or 1% of the highest earners, are paying around 1/3 of all taxation revenues.
Janet Yellen, of course, as well, this altering of forward guidance I mentioned at the top of the show. When this actually comes today, how much movement are we going to see in the market, do you think?
I don't think we're going to see much at all. I think all of this is pretty much locked in. Data have been a bit soft, but the underlying picture seems to be okay. I think the very high hurdle to stop the Fed from tapering at the moment. We'll be looking, of course, at any changes to the forecasts, but the big story will be how she handles herself in the press conference. But I don't see much room for market reaction.